This is Valley News Live at noon.
We start with breaking news this afternoon. Several people have died after a mass shooting in San Jose, California today. A spokesperson with the sheriff's office says there are multiple fatalities and injuries, and the shooter is also dead. It happened at a light rail facility that is next door to the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department and across from the airport. The facility has been evacuated and the situation is still being assessed. Now, law enforcement and community members are gathering now to honor the life and service of West Fargo Police Lieutenant Adam Gustafson and support the wife and 3 children he leaves behind. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley joins us live from Northfield Church, where the funeral service is scheduled to start within the hour.
Thanks, Brian. There's already several law enforcement officers who are here paying their respects inside the Northview Church to Lieutenant Adam Gustafson. The West Fargo Police Department has been here for quite some time already this morning. Both officials from Fargo Police and the Cass County Sheriff's Office saying both of their agencies are taking West Fargo's calls for service for the remainder of the day to give the department the entire day to properly grieve and heal. We've also seen many officers here from across the state of North Dakota as well as across the state of Minnesota, all of them saying that it's important to be here today to honor the life of someone like Lieutenant Gustafson. Last week I spoke with many law enforcement officers who say that Lieutenant Gustafson was somebody who could always put a smile on anybody's face, saying that he was the epitome, not only a good person, but a good officer. Sheriff Jesse Johnner from the Cass County Sheriff's Office also telling me last week that Lieutenant Adam Gustafson's death is one that is a tremendous loss to the entire law enforcement community. Live in Fargo today, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Thank you, Bailey, for that live report. Now, the service is open to the public and community members can pay their respects along the procession route after the service. Family members and law enforcement will leave Northfield Church, go west on 40th Avenue South, north on Veterans Boulevard, and east on Main Avenue, ending at the West Fargo Police Department. 25th Street in Fargo will be closed from 34th to 37th Avenue South in Fargo until it has cleared. Schools along the funeral route will be dismissed early today ahead of the road closures. Centennial and Kennedy Elementary Schools will finish classes at 1:20, and Discovery Middle School will end their day at 2. And all West Fargo city offices will be closed today for the funeral. Partner agencies in the FM area will be taking all West Fargo's emergency calls so employees can attend the service. There will also be no garbage pickup today in West Fargo. The community of Grand Forks will be remembering and honoring Officer Cody Holte, who died in the line of duty a year ago tomorrow. It was May 27th of 2020 when Officer Holte responded to an apartment on South 17th Street to help other officers serve an eviction notice that was ordered by a judge. Deputies were overtaken by heavy gunfire, and Officer Holte later passed away at All True Hospital. Samalia Pendleton is charged with a total of 8 charges, including 2 counts of murder for the deaths of both Officer Holte and for his mother, Lola Moore. Court records show Pendleton's trial is set to start on June 29th. Well, what a chilly start to the morning, but how does it feel right about now? Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green. Happy Wednesday, Lisa.
Happy Wednesday. Even with the sunshine, it is feeling quite cold out there this afternoon, and it's an improvement at least on this morning. Here's a view, a snapshot at 7:20 this morning from the Minnesota DOT cam along Highway 72 south of Baudette. You see it here, the snow, if you can believe your eyes. It's been quite cold in the Northern Valley, specifically cold enough for that snow to be produced, especially in the Roosevelt, and Baudette areas saw that this morning. Other places also had some reports. Here's a look at those temperatures. We were down to the freezing mark in Langdon, so we got all the way down to freezing with mostly cloudy skies, but there may still have been a little bit of frost in the Northern Valley. We have concerns for frost heading into tonight in that same area. More likely some more widespread frost happening north of Highway 2. We're looking at a frost advisory from 1 o'clock overnight tonight into the 9 o'clock hour tomorrow morning, when we typically see some of our coldest temperatures, and we're going to be very close to the freezing mark in more places. And I know a lot of folks have gotten your gardens started. Those flowers are out there. do what you can to protect them. Either bring in those pots or cover up those areas where you have those tender new plants here. Temperatures right now, we're in the 40s in most areas, 50 down in Wahpeton and Gwinner, but this is so much cooler than yesterday, and it's going to be a struggle to warm today. So we're going to talk more about that and take a look at your forecast for the Memorial Day weekend in just a couple of minutes.
You can never go wrong putting the plants on that windowsill in your kitchen, at least for today.
They'll be protected that way.
Sounds good to me. Thanks, Lisa. Well, a former Otter Tail County deputy has signed a plea deal for his role in a chase that killed 2 people. Kelly Backman agreed to plead guilty to misconduct, but a charge of DWI will likely be dismissed. The deputy was chasing a suspect in Fergus Falls last October, which led to a crash that killed Steve and Diane Christensen of Fergus Falls. A blood test showed Backman was under the influence of fentanyl at the time of the crash. The plea agreement calls for 30 days in jail or electronic home monitoring. Police are looking for information about a robbery at the Orden Cenex convenience store in Audubon. They say a man passed a note to the clerk around 1 yesterday morning, demanding cash and indicating he had a gun. He got away with the money and some cigarettes. Now, the clerks never actually saw the gun and were not hurt. A K-9 was brought in for a track but could not locate the suspect. If you recognize this man or have any information about what happened, call the Becker County Sheriff's Office. A man is in jail is expected to be charged later today in a deadly assault in Bemidji. The BELTRAMI County Sheriff's Office responded around 2 in the morning last Friday. They found Burgess Palmore dead, and dispatch audio indicated he was hit with a 2x4. Deputies later arrested Scott Schulman on unrelated charges, but he's due in court today to be formally charged in Palmore's death. Border Protection agents in northwestern North Dakota kept more than $6 million worth of marijuana from hitting the streets. The commercial shipment was labeled as plastic containers, but agents found 3,700 pounds of pot at a port of entry in Portal, North Dakota. One person was arrested. They also seized 645,000 Canadian dollars at the border in the separate case. It came in through a passenger vehicle and is worth more than 535,000 US dollars. If you bring more than $10,000 across the border, you must report it with U.S. Customs. Interstate 29 has to be raised as part of the FM area flood diversion project. The Corps of Engineers and Department of Transportation are hosting an open house tonight for the community to learn more about what to expect. It's happening tonight from 5 to 8 at the Hickson Community Center. It's a chance for people to ask questions and engage with flood diversion, Corps of Engineers, and DOT officials. Approximately 4 miles of I-29 will be raised to bring the road out of the 500-year flood elevation. The project extends from south of the Hickson exit to north of the Davenport-Oxbow interchange. Family-sized boxes of fresh produce are being given away in Moorhead today. The YMCA is distributing the boxes as part of the Farmers to Families program. Families will get fruit and vegetables, meat and dairy products. To get a box, just go to the north parking lot at the Moorhead Center Mall between 4 and 6 tonight. A once-in-a-lifetime traffic stop for the North Dakota Highway Patrol. A woman was stopped twice for speeding on I-94. She was pulled over in Studsman County and ticketed for going 90 in a 75 and was pulled over about an hour later near Castleton. But here's the weird part. The woman had 2 goats in her back seat. She told troopers she was heading to New York from Washington with the animals and that the goats were driving her nuts. Well, coming up at noon, adults are getting vaccinated and taking off their mask, but there's confusion about how to continue protecting children. And a chilly start to the day, whether next to plan the rest of your day in the week with meteorologist Lisa Green.